there was an incident over the Black Sea. The drone, a US-made MQ-9 Reaper and two Russian Su-27 aircrafts were flying over the international waters of the Black Sea on Tuesday when one of the Russian jets intentionally flew in front of the drone and dumped fuel on the unmanned aerial vehicle several times. The aircraft then hit the propeller of the drone, prompting the drone's remote operators to bring the MQ-9 drone down into the international waters of the Black Sea. This is what really happened, and I believe that. A pretty big deal in my eyes, in the eyes of the international community, of course. But the Russian Ministry of Defense released completely opposite statement. Information came from them was totally different. They said two things. First, the drone violated the borders. Second, Su-27 fighters were trying to identify the drone. Then, seeing the Russian planes, the drone operator tried to make a sharp maneuver but failed to control, and as a result, the drone went into the uncontrolled flight and fell into the Black Sea. Woohoo! Reading this Russian statement, I thought to myself, here we go again. Howdy, everyone. My name is Konstantin. Welcome to Inside Russia, where I give you news updates that I find important, and I think that explain what's truly happening inside Russia now. What you will not find on this channel is lies, BS, and propaganda. What you will find on this channel is truth, common sense, and logic, and emotions, because I am a human being. Inside Russia is where usual Russia explained by the unusual Russian. For the first 30 minutes or so, I give my daily message, and then I invite everyone to join live stream chat to converse, ask questions, give me feedback. I invite you to do so, and I would like your involvement very much. Please stay with me until the end of the stream. Well, this drone accident was yet another showcase of this phenomena that happened in Russia, happens in Russia, constantly. Didn't used to be like that, in the 90s, we had other things to take care about, to be concerned about, to care about. We tried to survive. We were just doing this phenomena. Many people paid the price, and the price was harsh sometimes. Although the politicians, they always did that, but nowhere to the extent of how much they're doing and going for it now. Have you guessed what am I talking about? That's right. Lying. It's some kind of disease. Last 12 months in Russia, we have seen this disease exacerbated, exploded, It's pretty bad. This disease has become so horrible that it started changing our reality. This disease is not unique to Russia, though. Gosh, many countries have gone through this stuff, Russia itself, not really Russia, but the USSR, in the past, had one of the worst cases of these disease. I remember it quite well. I was a teenager in late 80s, and the disease was at its highest peak. And then in August 91, we cured. Just like that, overnight. Lying was gone for the most part. All of us, all people who believed lying, who went with lying, they sobered up. Many people learned the truth. We all understood that the values we had been given were kind of fake, forced onto us by the commies. we learned that we were not the good guys, but rather on the contrary. And many people got very hurt, and many have not been able to get over it in the following 30 years. And I think it's one of the reasons why so many Russians are supporting the war with Ukraine right now, but that's completely different story for a different stream. I thought that this disease of government lies was over in 1991, but boy, was I wrong. Back to the drone incident. Today's stream's name is not a clickbait, far from it. What happened in the Black Sea was pretty simple and pretty straightforward. The US was flying in the international waters, its drone. Russian jets came over to intercept and down it. And they actually did down it. They intentionally collided with it. Its propeller got bent and the drone fell down right into the Black Sea. Well, guess what Russian Ministry of Defense said right after the incident? Let me quote, in no way I want to spread fakes and disinformation. No, I'm quoting the official source. The American MQ-9 drone was flying in the direction of the state border of Russia. At the same time, it moved with a transponder turned off and violated the boundaries of the area of the temporary use of airspace. Russia established this area in order to conduct special military operation in Ukraine. That's what the Russian government calls it. It's really a war against Ukraine. And brought information about it to all participants in the airspace, or so the Russian government says. The Russian military took two Su-27 fighters, the mighty Su-27s, into the air to identify this unidentified aerial vehicle, the drone. Seeing the Russian planes, the drone operator tried to make a sharp maneuver, but failed to control, and as a result of the drone went into uncontrolled flight, meaning fall, and fell into the sea. The second I thought that explanation, I thought, bullshit. Not because I analyzed information, not because I understood it. This thought appeared as a reflex. A lot of Russians think that when they hear something from the government. We're so conditioned to believe that every time someone from the government says something, for example, that something is black, we are sure to know that it's white. When Vladimir Putin comes out and says the economy is doing better than ever, addressing the entire nation, we instantly go, oh my God, what do we do now? Where do we run? That type of thing, And it's not because someone conditioned us to do that. It's because the government lies all the time. Every time officials open their mouths, it seems like the lies start coming out of them, So I took a moment and analyzed this Ministry of Defense statement. Double bullshit. That's what I thought then. The Russian news, of course, they exploded. Oh, those darn Americans, they're so warmongering. How could they? They crossed another red line. They approached Russia. They had evil intentions, of course, in Russia's border. They're going to regret about that. This kind of type of stuff exploded in the Russian propaganda news. But sure enough, the truth came out, and it came out very, very quickly. From no other place but from the drone itself, because as the drones fly, they film. I mean, it's like, I think my son Michael, who's 6 years old, he knows that. So the video, it doesn't lie. you know, you can look at this video, you can look at the recording, you can clearly see that the Russian jet aggressively maneuvering right in front of the drone, dumping fuel onto it a couple times, and then colliding with the drone at the end. Aggressively maneuvering, okay? The Russian government was caught lying red-handed again. The video does not lie. The statement said the Russian fighter did not use airborne weapons, did not come into contact with unmanned aerial vehicle, and returned safely to the home airfield. But the video clearly shows the bent propeller of the drone. Now tell me, if there was no contact, who bent the propeller? You know, that's one of those questions. Who, what are Russian soldiers doing in Ukraine? No one can answer that. So another question of that magnificence is, who bent the propeller of the drone if there was no contact? What, magical force, a miracle, aliens, reptiloids, perhaps, the Satanists that, run in the West, the collective West, perhaps they did it themselves to actually blame Russians? Yeah, right. So, by the way, Sergei Shoigu, a few hours ago today, awarded the state awards to the jet fighter plane pilots who participated in this interception and drowning of the American MQ-9 Reaper drone over the Black Sea. Now, another question that is really hard to explain. Why the minister himself would award the pilots an honorable award if there was no contact? Then what for he awarded the pilots? For what did they do? It doesn't make sense again. Caught red-handed. Okay, they don't care. They bear no responsibility for what they say. They say one thing today, no one holds them responsible. They say completely different thing tomorrow. And that's why they actually keep lying. If they were held accountable by people, hey, you lied? Okay, we caught you, we fire you, you resign or whatever. It doesn't happen, okay? That's why they keep on lying. It's as if you don't pay taxes and revenue service comes to you and says, oh, you didn't pay taxes. You said, yeah, no, I didn't, What are you going to do about it? Nothing. And you keep on not paying taxes and they don't do anything. That's kind of same thing, Well, all understood with this drone. Let's move on. There's a bigger stake. There's bigger issue at stake here, not just the drone. It's the lying. Like I said, it's been going intensively for the past 12 months. This new reality of lies, immersive lies, complete lies, is in the process of replacing the normal reality of truth in our lives, The land of curved mirrors, where your reflection is the opposite from what you are, is here and it's consuming the normal real world. We are having our reality being stolen right from us, from our nose, in front of our eyes, and we are not doing anything about it. Well, let me give you a few examples of the lies. And they're so open, they're so clear, they're so atrocious that it really amazes me how no one tries to hold people who lie accountable. But they're not. Anyway, few of the lies, not too many, just few among, hundreds or thousands that I've heard over the past 12 months. They are: Russia is the victim of the evil plot of the collective West. Yeah, Russia is the victim. Russia is not up to the land grab from Ukraine. Russia does not need land from Ukraine at all. Russia is to denazify and demilitarize Ukraine. Yeah, right. Ukraine's President Zelensky ran from Ukraine to Poland. Russia would have been attacked in 18 hours if it didn't attack Ukraine first. That's a good one. The West has his existential goal of destroying Russia, shattering its sovereignty, and wiping out Russian culture and Russian people. The Western companies will never leave Russia. All they care about is making a buck. Europe, it'll freeze to death without Russian natural gas. It's going to be a long, long winter. Remember that commercial from Gazprom? Kiev will fall in 3 days. Russian army is the mightiest army in the world. Well, sorry, I'm not correct here. Second mightiest, second strongest, second best. Ukraine army, well, non-existent. It's just, we'll roll over them just in 3 days and we'll take Kiev. Russia will never, ever leave the new territories behind and its people. Kherson and Kharkov. It'll never happen. Russian weapons are so much more advanced and so much more reliable than the Western obsolete junk. The mobilization will never happen in Russia. The army possesses all necessary resources and professional soldiers, professional personnel to reach its goals in Ukraine. Mobilization will never happen. Russian ruble is stronger than ever, and it will stay strong for a long time. Russia stood up from its knees and standing tall now. Russia has not been affected, has not been crushed by the Western sanctions. It's going strong now. Russia has many friends and huge respect in the international community. They will never dare to put price cap on Russian oil exports. That'd be crossing another red line, the biggest, the strongest, the longest red line, the reddest red line. The mobilization that would never happen is over. There will be no new people mobilized. The army reached its goal of 350 people, and we don't need any more people. After 12 months of unprecedented sanctions, Russian economy is not broken and doing absolutely marvelous, doing good, strong, and great. The evil collective West is controlled by the Satanists. The Satanists have their grip on all governments in the West, and the governments are doing atrocities to the Western countries' people. I could go on. Speaking of which, I could go on for quite some time. This is just the few most atrocious, most ridiculous lies I've heard over the past 12 months. Not like lies did not happen before. I mean, they were just a permanent feature of the Russian political scene in the past, 10 years. Well, they started appearing in large quantities in 2004 and then started intensifying. Stepping stones more and more, and this is how we got here, basically. Now, in Russia, this is one of the saddest things that people are facing, that we're facing. Because the lies is constant lying. The lying that is considered the norm. The lying that is not checked by anyone. The lying that is not, no one gets held accountable for lying, especially politicians and public figures. That is a disease, okay? And this really corrupts people from inside out. Your reality, like I said before, your reality gets replaced by the new one, the ugly one, the corrupted one, the wrong one. And it's like you get into a maze of like different curved glasses, and you lose yourself there. You don't understand who you are anymore, where the truth is. You don't know what are your friends are, what is really going on in your life, because it's all curved mirrors. You see the distorted picture. Moreover, this picture is put straight into your head. Okay. This is a tragedy that is happening in Russia, and I think it can be cured, but when, I don't know. How, I don't know, but I can tell you one thing. It's going to be a very rude awakening for all the Russian citizens who believe into lies, who thinks that the lies are truth, and who just basically go along with them. Boy, they gonna wake up one morning and they're gonna find themselves understanding that they've been lied to, and that's not gonna be a good feeling. Been there, done that. I don't want to repeat that, but bound to it. My friends, please look at Russia and learn from our mistakes. Please do not make your own. Thank you so very much. That has been my message for today. Would like you to hear, to tell me what you think about my message. Please, in live stream chat, give me feedback. Let's converse. You can ask me questions. And please, please, please let me know what you think. Before I turn on the comments, I, as usual, ask you two things. First, could you please help me spread my message by making reposts in your social media accounts? That helps me. And the second, would you please consider signing up for my Telegram channel called Inside Konstantin's Russia? The link is down in the description. You'll see it after the stream ends. Thank you so very much for coming and watching. And I'm turning comments now, and you should see them. If you don't, please hit the refresh button as I just did, and you will see the comments. Mommy and Lorna, I don't know how that happens, but you are always number one. No, this time it's actually Mommy and Harry Potter. Wow. Unusual. Lorna is right next. And the other mods will follow. Bob S., Harry Potter, Amir, and Blackhead. Bob, I see you. Thank you so much for coming, watching my back as usual. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We actually have a pilot, a professional pilot, Harry. If you could comment your situation, like your vision of this maneuvering that Russian Su-27 did. Russians are claiming it was just trying to identify what the drone was all about, So would love to hear your professional opinion. And the usual suspects, great to see you. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much. Okie dokie. If you want me to notice your comment or question easier, please put it in caps and put inside Russia after @ so it appears in a highlighted in orange box, just like Harry Potter did. Thank you so much. To Palusto, hello from Finland. Howdy, howdy. Hot in here again. One of those hot days in Tashkent in mid-March. CD318, thank you so much. You rock. Electrics from England, howdy. Frank Miller, Julie W. Andreas Lehmann, thank you from hello from Germany. Good Abend. Jeffrey S. Well, you know what? Sometimes I gotta say what I gotta say. I was thinking of what kind of language I can use, but I couldn't come up with anything better that explained my feelings. Okay. That's how I really feel when I hear a statement like, oh, we didn't start the war, we're just trying to finish it. And this appears in my head. Marv 2324, thank you so much. Putin officially wanted criminal after ICC warrant. I just saw the news. You know what's funny? Lorna is the mod. You all know Lorna. Her and mommy they've been with me since even before I started streaming, right? So somehow Lorna happens to notify me of the serious news before I know them. I don't know how she does that, but she gave me news. She sent me news about Russian airspace getting closed 3 a.m. on February 24th, 2022. She was the first person I learned of the big trouble from. Then there are other news that came, like this news of bombing in Rostov yesterday, or explosion in Rostov, whatever it was. Learned it from Lorna. This accident with the plane, the drone and the Russian planes, I learned it from Lorna. You just name something big happened, and the chances are I learned it from Lorna. I don't know what she does. Lorna, what do you do? How do you do that? Julia Goddard, if it were up to me, I'd send an invoice 28-32 million to Mr. Putin for that down drone. Looks like defense deputies turn another cheek. Could you imagine if we sank a spy ship off Hawaii recently? Unreal. Well, it's not a question, it's more of a statement, Julia. It's a very tough situation, and I kind of understand Defense Department. Don't throw rocks into those folks. They're not dumb, okay? They know much more than you do, I do, and everyone else does. They know and they feel, most likely, I hope, and I'm pretty sure they feel where the red line is, the thin line that you cannot, pass. And I don't think they're gonna leave it like that. I mean, the retaliation will follow, but it's not necessarily gonna be like sending a check to Putin or whatever. It's gonna be different, But the Russians will know because they speak this. If any one of you is in the military, tell me if I'm wrong or right. But the military people, they have their own communication language. They know exactly what they do and what follows back, and for what. So don't throw rocks into the Defense Department. And I think that if you sunk the spy ship of Hawaii in a way that Russians downed the drone, I think nothing would have happened. Okay? I mean, the retaliation would happen, but later in a different kind, if you know what I mean. So the military men, they have their own language and their own score, so to speak. Caesars, thank you so much. Xi didn't get a proper intel about this before the state visit again. Well, let me tell you something. This situation unfolding with Putin on the warrant, that really puts Xi on the spot, and it changes entire balance of international relations, at least the relations between Russia and China. I learned about this event just hour and a half ago. So I don't have much to say. I have to think about it. I have to, you know, I have to research. I have to come up with, do the fact checking, find out what exactly happened and stuff like that. But that's very amusing, interesting, very interesting development. Crusader Damien, unfortunately, corruption and lying go hand in hand. Ukraine is fighting corruption at the same time as this brutal invasion. Russia and the Soviets embraced lying, and it is deep in the culture. Unfortunately, you're right. Unfortunately, you come up with like fantastic questions and statements. You're spot on again. And you know what? Don't idolize Ukraine in terms of like corruption and state management, because Ukraine is very corrupted. I would hate to compare Russia and Ukraine in terms of corruption, but trust me, I lived in Ukraine for a year. I know Ukraine well. Fantastic people, fantastic country, love Ukraine, have tons of friends, but very corrupted country. You could do anything for a buck, okay? Moreover, my American friends came over to Ukraine. They did many things they couldn't do at their home, that they did in Ukraine. And they got away with it. You know what I mean? So, like nothing illegal type of stuff. You know what I mean? But still, Ukraine. The thing is, I always say that Russians sometimes they say, "Well, you know how corrupt Ukraine is. Who cares? That's Ukrainians' business." What does Russia have to do with Ukrainian corruption? What does Russia have to do with the Ukrainian government? Leave them alone. They are a sovereign country. They are sovereign people, independent people. They want to fight corruption. They can do that. They want to let corruption go. It's their right, Don't look into Ukraine. Look into Russia first. Like we don't have corruption in Russia. Yeah. Whew. Thank you. Thank you again. Jason Carney, thank you so much for coming again to today's stream and supporting a huge deal. I said many times ago, thank you so much from myself and my wife, Natasha. Thank you. I really appreciate, Thank you so much. And there's a huge super chat from Tomasz Miklos. Thank you. Thank you for your unshakable commitment to spreading the truth about the atrocities committed by the Russian army and command chain in Ukraine. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you coming back, you hearing my message, giving me a chance and supporting me. Thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. We have a new sponsor, Natalie Motel. Welcome to Inside Russia. Fantastic to have a new sponsor. Sam K, howdy. Jason Correa, good one today. I can't say I tried, It's something burning inside of me, and I just let it out, and it happens. So thank you, Jason. Dave C, howdy. I let Harry beat me. Okay, now Lorna gave us the secret of not being number one today. You are number one because I consider you and mommy one, and you're always there. Kelvin, Dave Strains, howdy. A+ Russian, hello, glad to the GL to the west, not making those mistakes, man. Oля, I didn't quite understand your message. What is this? Don't forget, Russian is not allowed here. Dave Strain, Konstantin, awesome message today. Thank you. Well, thank you so much. Lindsay, good evening from the COVID corner. I hope you're doing better. We prayed for you. We keep on praying. We'll pray for you today. Special prayer in mind. Ferrari guy, they are better about timing their page reloads. Okay. taken. Cheryl Watley, ex. My mother was an English teacher. Dave Strains, my kind of stream. Tom W. The girls are doing fine, thank you. SF Joe, howdy. Roger, difficult comparing US and Russia at the end. The war crimes accepted by top would never fly in the USA. Rather difficult comparing, yeah. I tell you what, I hope that all war criminals will get what they deserve. James Ridley, hi from Shetland. Hope all you keeping well. Ann Larson, howdy howdy. I hope your family and daughter are doing better. Christian, but of course Russia will lie about, and pictures don't lie. Strange way to identify a drone by trying to dump fuel on it. I know. I mean, you know what? What really strikes me is that when you lie, you can lie in different ways. If you're Russian government, you can lie. How do I say that? In a way that people believe it's truth, that they can't catch you by hand. But it seems like these people don't care. They're either stupid or they simply disregard people and others' opinions so much they just simply don't care. There's a video that films that a Su-27 jet fighter plane, does a maneuver, a fantastic maneuver. I think the pilot was brilliant in that plane, by the way, But then he stops and he dumps lots of fuel right on the drone. I mean, and then after that, they're saying, well, we were trying to identify the drone. And I'm pretty sure that the drone did not have this device turned off, you can easily check that. There are services that actually trace planes that fly around. But they lie about it and they don't care because they're not held accountable. Natasha from the Emerald Land, howdy howdy. I take it the Emerald Land is Seattle because the green is so green in Seattle, Ferrari guy, I believe the US waited for Russia to put its story out first before exposing them a video that backed up the verbal description of the incident. Hard to disagree with you. Darren Parsons, hi from UK. All politicians lie, but Russian politicians are something else. I think you should start doing shorts. Thinking of doing shorts. It's not easy to fit them onto my schedule. This is so crazily busy, I just signed up for a gym. I dedicated like at least 1 hour of every day. I will bicycle, like push pedals and swim a little bit. So that puts even more strain more stress on my time schedule, but it's gonna be done. Crusader Damien, you are right about Ukraine. My point was that Ukraine is battling it and at the highest levels for EU acceptance, and Russia is embracing it. Agreed. Russia is... I can't say it's embracing it. It's the way of life in Russia. It's like the philosophy, okay? They're saying, corruption is bad. Putin said that corruption is Russia's biggest enemy so many times publicly. That's before we had the NATO as the enemy, because that's when the NATO was okay, the good guys, the friends, the partners. We needed enemy, and that was corruption. But now corruption kind of disappeared into thin air. And yes, Ukrainians were fighting it. Right now, the situation is different. I don't really know what's happening in terms of corruption there. It's the war, you gotta do what you're gonna do to win. But I'm pretty sure after they're gonna, you know, they're gonna do better because Ukraine now is first of all under the microscope from all countries who support it, and then it has a good possibility to be a beacon of light to many countries. So I think Ukraine will do all right. Mets fan, there is an app called Flight. Yes, that's exactly what I meant. Flight Radar 24. Those drones have been flying all over the Black Sea for years. And you know what? That's okay because they don't break any laws. That's international waters. Russian planes fly, warplanes fly near the border of the United States in the international waters. But guess what? As long as they keep on the other side of the border, that's okay. You can't just send your jets and down them. You know what I mean? That's not acceptable. Wayne, can we believe anything Putin says? I think you know the answer. Lee, do you still have family in Russia? I do not answer personal question of my family members, myself. I will only tell you about what happens after it happens, I'm stuck here in Uzbekistan, and it's not the safest place in the world for me to be, for my family to be, so no plans. Julie W., thank you so much for gifting membership of Inside Russia to 5 people. Thank you from me and from 5 people and everyone. Tomorrow I'm doing a private stream as usual for sponsors and patrons. Also, my kids are back to Maine, and I am editing a couple short movies about us spending time in Tashkent. This movie is gonna be available only to sponsors and patrons. So please come into the sponsorship section. Check them out. Next week there will be 2 at least. And come tomorrow for a patron and sponsor only stream. It's going to be good. Thank you so much, Carlson Larimore. There's a question. Putin needed to show Z that he got revenge for shooting down their spy balloon. Maybe Putin hoping he will get more ammo support for this. I don't think so. Now I think that event is completely out of the picture and it's not important. It has lost its importance whatsoever. The Putin has been announced a war criminal and he's wanted by the international community to Hague court. And I think that's going to dominate world politics in the near time. And Z, Putin put him on the spot. He really did. I would not be surprised if Z wouldn't show up in Moscow after this, but we'll see. Dave's trains, 2 blades were damaged on the drone. 1 is in the feathered position sideways. Also that definitely brought it down. Well, I think that's obvious. Alien Guru, Inside Russia, thank you for all you do. Spasiba. Thank you, Alien. Guru, are you really alien? Are you really Guru? I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. I'm trying to bring a little bit of humor into this sad streams, sad messages. Because if there's no humor, be really tough, you know. A plus. Gotta get going. Okay. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much. Happy Friday. Jodes Rames. Z is going to Moscow next week. Well, let's wait and see if he really comes. Or he comes under conditions. Or I tell you what, everything has just gotten way more interesting. Rocket Ronnie. History shows autocratic governments end up believing their lies are reality. When war is over, Russians will see cost of lies in bodies coming home. Yes, they will. Like I said, there will be a very rude awakening. Hang on 1 second. Pardon me. Ferrari guy, sorry the family visit wasn't longer. I know it made you here. I hope this happens again very soon, many times in the future. It's tough to see them go for now, I know. Thank you so much for understanding how I feel. It's really tough and it's really sad for me. But guess what? There are plans, and I'm looking very positively and optimistically into the future. Thank you so much. This super chat from Rope Access Work. Thank you so much, friend. Now that Putin is internationally wanted, can the Doves hand them over when they take over Russia? The Doves. Who are the Doves? I'm being a little slow, I'm sorry. Can the Doves hang him over when they take over Russia? I can answer the question if I learn who the Doves are. Mets fan, if humor is what you need, listen to Vladimir Solovyov. This guy is a real clown. I don't watch his programs, but if you're Russian and if you follow Russian politics, Russian, not just politics, but Russian news, you cannot hide from Solovyov anywhere. He will find you. He finds me every day. And then his phrases are all over. YouTube. People make videos, reaction videos to him. TikTok. People make fun of him. You know, all over. This guy, let me tell you something, he's quite something else. He's, I would say he's propaganda #1 person in Russia. By the way, Slava, the host of Russian Plus channel, just released a pretty cool video called My Day in Tashkent. And that video has my kids, my American kids in it. So check it out, please. It's pretty cool. Dan Lawrence, what do you think those close to Putin think about the constant stream of BS? As they have to go along with it regardless of their own thoughts, opinions. Well, they have made their choice. They've traded. They've traded their souls. They've traded their balance, their health of mind for something. You know, for the positions, for the money, for power, for influence. I think each trade is unique. I don't think I don't think they go along with it. I think they just have accepted it as their reality. And I think they're part of it. They're enjoying it. By the way, right before the stream, I checked quite a few news outlets, Russian government-controlled news outlets. They started commenting on Putin, the International Court in Hague, issuing warrant for Putin. You know what they started commenting? It's like a showcase, okay? It explains a lot. If I was an attorney and my client, was charged with something, and it would be a bad PR case. You know what I would have done? And if I was sure that he's not guilty, he's innocent, I would have said, you know what? Wait a second. This charge is BS. Because of this, this, and this. And I would give the facts and I would give the reasons why I think that everyone should know that the charge is BS. So I would try to present my client in a truthful way. Like, look, he's innocent. Because he was, at the time of murder, he was just simply in a different town. Or something like that. If he's not really guilty. Guess what they started doing to Putin? Oh my God. None of them said nothing like, oh, you know what? What does he have to do with like stealing Ukrainian children or something, or relocating Ukrainian children, stuff like that? They keep on saying one thing. International courts are not legal in Russia. They have no jurisdiction over Russia. Russia loves at international courts. It's like, wait a second. So are you saying he's guilty, but international court cannot get him because it has no jurisdiction, no power over Russia? Is that what you're trying to say? And this is the news that I saw, a few minutes before I started the stream. This is crazy. Wanda, there are war hawks. The doves are those who want peace, or at least not war. Wanda, I am a dove, okay? I'm not a hawk. I don't want war. I want peace. I want everyone to get along. I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Alien Guru, when you think Russia will be in peace agreement? When do I think Russia will be in peace agreement? I close my eyes and I hope that soon. But I just don't know how it's possible. I pray every single day for that day to come sooner. Have more and more Ukrainians started joining Russian, Ukrainian, or International Tashkent Breakfast Club. And you know what? We had, for the second time, we had the family from Mariupol, this time with 2 kids. And the kids are one teenage boy, like 12 years old, 12, 13, and one younger, like 8. And you know what? They both have gray hair. We have more Ukrainians coming this Sunday. And they keep telling us. They keep telling us the truth. They keep telling us like this personal account of things that happened in Mariupol last February, last March. They're telling us how they were bombed, right? Like, the neighbor houses were destroyed and things like that. And the more I hear about that, the more I don't understand when it's going to be over, because I understand what a huge mess this is. I don't know. Alien Guru, I hope soon, but I don't know. Marv Simonyan had a meltdown and said they would nuke any country that arrests Putin. They're absurd. Well, who's gonna nuke countries if they arrest Putin? Well, I'm sure no one would nuke if Putin was arrested. There would be a different kind of game played immediately. That Sun Swang that is happening right now, that would be solved for Russia. There would be other players, key players on the chessboard, and no one would nuke anyone, okay? The biggest blame game in the history of mankind probably would have started if he was arrested. Jason Carney, thank you so much for another support. Huge. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And 10 memberships, gifts of 10 memberships to people. Thank you from me and from 10 people. People keep writing and asking, like, Konstantin, what do I do to get one of those gifted memberships? I don't know. It's totally by not coincidence. It's anyway, it's distributed through algorithm, and we don't know what the rules are. At random, that's the right word. It's given at random. Okay. Simonian had a meltdown. I haven't seen it yet. That I'm gonna watch it. That's interesting. Interesting. But I'm sure that no one is going to arrest him. Oh no. He's not gonna fly anywhere anymore. Outside of Russia, no, you will not see Putin anywhere. Not like he has gone to many places in the last 12 months and anyone wanted to see him, but now it's gotten even worse for him. The new sponsor, Sharain Wiedenscheuft. No. Wiedenheuft. German. I am so sorry. Please forgive me for Sharon. I don't even know how to say the first name right. Sky was sitting right next to me and she'd, say, hey, this is how you pronounce it. Sharain. Miss Sharain, thank you so much. Welcome to Inside Russia. Susan S. Howdy. Long time no see. I hope everything is well with you. Definitely the usual suspect. I remember of you quite well. Thank you for showing up. At least Russia openly acknowledges it disregards international law. It did in the past, and now I guess it's official. Unfortunately, you know what? They are actually bragging inside of Russia. Oh, this international law, it's... I don't understand what they're bragging about. They're not part of the international community anymore. That's crazy, okay? It's like the land of curved mirrors, and the one reality, the fake one, is replacing the real one. RC Roscoe, you must be a bad guy if you have to have a body double. Can you imagine American presidents with body doubles? I can't. Because that's a completely different paradigm. American presidents are just basically regular people who were given a privilege by the majority of American voters to lead the country in a certain position with limited responsibilities for 4 years. No more, no less. Every American president knows that he'll be out of the office in 8 years if he's lucky or she's lucky. In 4 years, if not so lucky. Okay, that's it. What do you do after? Well, you become a normal person again. Okay. In Russia, you become a Caesar, you become God. You stay there for life. Short or long, I guess that's Russian luck, but you stay there for life. And how can, not God, but semi-God, how can semi-God not have a double? How can he be present himself? The life is the most precious thing, the power. If you lose life, you lose power. That's not... They don't want that to happen, That's why they have body doubles and triples, probably. Cheryl... Second part of the question was, will Putin be arrested after the... Oh, okay. So I understood now. No, he will not be. He will not be alive. He knows too much. If Russian doves take over, no matter who takes over, the hawks or the doves, Putin has very little chances. He knows that. That's why he distances himself from even friends. That's why he speaks to people only via big TV sets. That's why he travels on a train now, the super duper presidential train. That's why he never appears in public. Well, very rarely. That's why he has body doubles, allegedly. I can't really say it's true. I have not seen any body double of Putin, but the rumors have it. That's exactly why. He knows. He knows, and he's taking precautions. Samps after around 30 to 40 minutes at 7:03 a.m. One of the jets that collided with drone causing it to crash. One of the jets then collided with a drone causing it. Okay, so not sorry. Diana, the thought of the kids with gray hair is horrifying. So many children who have had their childhood stolen. How can they be healed? Well, that family is a story in itself. Very interesting people, very nice people, very like decent folks, just regular people. The guys they both are engineers. The husband and the wife. The husband is electrical engineer, and the wife, I think, I forgot, but she's different kind of like technological, like metallurgy engineer or something like that. Nice people. Kids are really quiet, also nice, very respectful. And I see it with my own eyes. I see the gray hairs. And that is horrifying. That's probably horrifying to you to listen. But when you sit there and you look at them and you see that, how do you look at the mother of these kids? What do you say? Please forgive us. Well, you know what? That doesn't cut it. I have hard time coming up with words. I just sit there. Anyway, I want to um I want to I want to get to know them better, and I want to invite them for an interview. Probably not for a stream, but like I do video with them, so they would tell their story of how they told me and the folks at the Russian Breakfast Club their story. But I just want everyone to hear that. That's incredible and horrifying at the same time. Okay. Okay. Time's up. Uh, Darla, you did not start the war. You know what I did? Because I am Russian, and all Russians are responsible to a certain degree. There is a collective responsibility among all those people. I am thinking of a stream that's going to be called Putin's War or Russians' War. And that's a very hard stream for me to make, okay, because it goes against everything that I had known about Russian people. But you know what? I have decided, I have pledged, I have promised here to be honest, and I've promised you to bring the truth, no matter how hard or bitter that is. And I have some thoughts on the topic, whether it's Putin's war or Russians' war. And I'm going to share with you in 48 hours on Sunday. Tomorrow is the stream for sponsors and um, patrons, and on Sunday I will catch my breath, so to speak, and I will tell you what I think. Anyway, I'm going to be wrapping it up, folks. Thank you so much for coming today. Thank you for giving me a chance. Thank you for listening and watching, the commenting, conversing. Thank you for supporting. Susan S., great to see you again. Thank you for coming. Ellery, well, I will tell you on Sunday whether I should blame myself personally or I shouldn't. And then you will be the judge. Okay, let's pray. Dear God, thank you so much for giving us this day. Thank you for putting food on our tables. Thank you for putting roofs over our heads. Thank you for putting people who will love around us and people who love us, surrounding us with the loved ones. Please give us wisdom to keep the skies above our children's heads safe and peaceful. Please give us wisdom to raise the children that they grow up healthy, good, right, and make this world a better place. Please give us wisdom to raise our children so they laugh and they don't cry. Please keep them healthy and safe. Dear God, please help stop the bloodshed in Ukraine as soon as possible. The country and the people have suffered enough. Please reach out and touch the hearts and souls of people who are responsible for making the decisions, who are capable of making the decisions. Please have them wake up from the lethargic sleep that they've been sleeping for over a year now. Please open their eyes so they're horrified of what has happened and they will make the right decision to stop the bloodshed. Please send every single Ukrainian an angel so they keep people out of harm's way and not every single drop of blood is shed anymore. Please help all the Ukrainians who have been affected by this tragedy, answer their prayers, and make their wishes come true. Please send them love, send them strength, send them recovery, and soothe their souls, please. Please help my country, Russia. Send the army of your strongest angels with sharpest swords, led by Saint Michael, to get rid of the demons that have hijacked it. And dear God, please tell me perhaps whether I should pray some different way to, so the angels come quicker, because we really need them. Just give me a sign. Please help everyone. God bless everyone who's helping Ukrainians, opening their hearts, wallets, doors, homes. Help those who are traveling, send them safe travels. Help those who are seeking asylum, especially those with families who are running away from the evil with families, with children. Send them good people their way and send your help. Please help those who are hungry, homeless, jobless, struggling with their faith, sick, have low self-esteem, depressed, not feeling well in general. Please surround them with your love and shine your light over them so they will get up on their feet again, feel confident, feel happy, and they will get back to life. because we are born here to be happy, not to be sad, angry. So make those people happy again. Help them out, please. I would like to ask for all people who have been mistreated by their families, who have been kicked out by their parents when they were children, who have struggled with society accepting them, with not having friends, with being outcasts. There are a lot of people like that. So please, dear God, we need your help to help people like that. Um, I would like to ask you to never again allow situations when children get gray hair. This is just not right, and that's not supposed to happen. Uh, Please give us wisdom to fix the broken so that doesn't happen ever again. I would also like you to reach out and talk to pregnant women who are making a decision whether to keep their babies or not, so they make the right choice. Dear God, thank you so much for bringing us all together into this community and allowing us to pray together. Thank you. Please help everyone who's praying along or just watching us pray. Make everyone prayer heard and answered, and make everyone's wish come true, please. Thank you so very much, dear God. I would like to ask you for a few people who need your help. They are Ann Larson and family and her daughter, Florentina, uh, Max family, Sherry Norin, our family, our community member CKOC, Brian Wilkes, Wayne, who's fighting with cancer, Shirley and Debbie, Jen Allen, Finola, Lars Henrik's mother, the highwayman, Essie from the Scottish Isles, Outlander and family, Amanda Ridenour and roommate, David Porter, his wife and daughter, and all people in Chernovtsi, Ukraine, Chori's family, Lars, Susan Marshall, Beulah, Boss Salmon, Elvin's sister, Teresa D., Marsha Tucker, Garcia Castellanos, Terry Carter, Joe McMahon, Meta Spencer, please send her full recovery, Deanna and family, Bree's friend, Caroline, Albina Fell, Michael Yukon, Joel, Life, Terry, Karine Vasseur, Daniel 9, Pamela J., Lindsay, Larry, Yelena, Natasha, Jake, Michael, Ola, Dasha, Sky, Bonnie, Galina, Igor, Karen from Maine, Janine, Michael Milkowitz, Marlene, Paul Binns, Richard, Mallory M., Dirk Misler, James Rhodes, Terry, Hannah and children, Richard Burris, Angelica Life, and Scan family's grandson, Grace, Barb, Randolph, Nelly, Arkady, and Yuri in Mykolaiv, and everyone who is in Mykolaiv right now. Harry's family, Verlinda's niece, Ian James, Doug, Rafaela From, Priscilla, Michelin, King Nero, Gaby Hyman, Donald, Deborah, Lisa's son, Jade Kaltenberg, Allison, Dave Moyers, Mr. Henson, Heidi, Bob, Rob, Matt, Umel, Jennifer, Tony, Kayleen, Ashley and family, Mr. Dean Spooner, his church called Our Savior Lutheran Church, Lisa Cumrian, Jacob, Adam Oliver, Amy, Treasure, Kyle's wife, Maggie, Carmen's sister, Vladislav and his father Sergey in Ukraine and Kharkov, Susie Myler, Gina Wayfarer, MS paramedic Liz, Lori Miles' husband Sherry, Layla, Philip's mother, Thomas Fall and his mother. I would like to ask for few special children. They are Cadence, Maverick, Sebastian Coulter, Theo Madi, Ansley, and 2-year-old niece of Karin Vasseur. They need recovery. Please show your miracle to them. Shine your light upon them and surround them with your warmth and love. Send strength to their families, please. Also would like to ask you for all the children who have been misplaced, who has been hijacked from Ukraine. Please send help to everyone who needs help. Have them reunite with their families. Send angel to every child in need. And please help all the children who have been affected by this tragedy in Russia as well. Thank you, dear Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. My friends, thank you very much. Thank you for coming, giving me a chance, and, as usual, being with me. You're awesome and you rock. Private stream tomorrow for sponsors and patrons, and it's going to be a very, very tough stream, but very honest. On Sunday, please come back. I will need everyone's support and help, Thank you so much. And before I go, as usual, I'd like everyone to say out loud with me, Carthago delenda est.